Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to a new video on the channel. So in today's video, guys, I'm going to be talking about a feature that Greenville has said they might add for a long time now, but they never have. So the feature that I'm talking about today is actually car test driving. Now, this has been a feature that Greenville devs have been hinting at for many years now, and we've always gotten pretty close to them actually adding it, but then they never end up adding it. And there's a couple different reasons as to why. So even though there are a lot of different screenshots explaining how this feature would have worked if it is going to be released, or if it was going to be released, the ones that I could find at least were a couple from the Greenville developer called Smears right here, and he said a couple of things. So the first thing he said was test drive would be a separate game, so you don't go flexing your not owned car. And he also said there would be a period where you can't test drive new cars, which I guess that somewhat makes sense, so then people don't go like flexing update cars that they don't actually own. He also said GV will never ever have car renting slash test drives in public servers, which is likely just to prevent people flexing the vehicles even if they don't own them. And then he also said, I really want users to have a way to test drive cars, but it's kind of hard to figure out. So yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like the main reason why this feature has never been added, even after all of these years, is just because the devs can't really figure out a sustainable way to add it. Now, if I was a dev for Greenville, personally, what I would do is I would probably make it so you would only be able to test drive cars in private servers, so then people don't go flexing cars that don't own in public servers. And also, in my opinion, they should give people a cooldown on how many cars they can rent per day, possibly even per week. And also, for the more expensive car you decide to rent, the more money in game it will actually cost. So for example, let's say you wanted to test drive the $5 million Tesla Roadster, they could probably make the rental price on that like $500k for maybe like an hour or so of driving time. That might not be like a good price range, but just for an example, like they should make it more expensive as the cars get more and more expensive. And yeah, as I said, there should be a time limit on how long you can actually drive these cars for, and then once the time runs out, then there will be a pretty long cooldown, I'd say, from when you can rent another car, so people don't essentially own the cars for much cheaper than they would otherwise. I feel like what Smear said when he said that he would make a separate game to actually do car test driving is a bit too far-fetched in my opinion. I don't think they should go that far into doing it because it just makes it very tedious for players. But yeah, I feel like with a lot of like restrictive controls, I guess, it could be kind of cool to add it. And I feel like it's still very possible. Like, I mean, with all of the stuff that I just said then, I feel like it could actually be a pretty sustainable thing to add. But I mean, I guess it just really depends, to be honest. And I actually found this really cool concept video made by a YouTuber called One Gaming Official, where he actually made a video on like a concept of how the test driving feature could actually work in Greenville. So I'm going to showcase some bits of this video here, and I do want to give some huge credit to him. His video will be in the description if you guys want to check out the full thing. But essentially, as you guys can see, when he goes into the dealership, what he's done here is that basically he'll click on a car that he wants to test drive, and then once he clicks on it, you guys will see a button here that will say like test drive vehicle. And as you guys can see, he also says that in this concept you can test drive the car for a limited time, similar to what I was saying earlier. And basically once he clicks that, then it will say test drive starting, car spawn in the dealership lot. I'm assuming what Greenville would probably do in this case though, they'd probably just like make a temporary slot in your car inventory, and then as you guys can see, the car is spawned out there waiting for you. And then as you guys can see in the top left corner, there is a timer that will go down. Now this is only a 5-minute timer here. I feel like that's pretty low, but I guess it kind of depends how much you actually pay to rent the vehicle for. Like if you're only paying, let's say like 20k or something to rent the vehicle, then I guess 5 minutes isn't too bad. But if you're paying in like the hundreds of thousands, especially if you're renting a more expensive car, then I feel like 5 minutes just isn't really worth your time. And yeah, and then after that, the test drive is over, and yeah, in my opinion, they should add like some sort of cooldown after this, so then you can't rent another car for a while after that. Now, something that may stop Greenville from even bothering with this feature is the fact that nowadays, for those of you guys who don't know, you can actually unlock the driver's seats in your vehicle. So essentially, you can literally just get your friends' cars and test drive them yourself for as long as you want. But then again, for people who don't have friends in this game who, you know, have crazy expensive vehicles that they want to test drive, then this feature would still come in very handy. But I mean, yeah, it's a very interesting feature that I feel like a lot of people would still appreciate today. And I mean, in my opinion, there's no really real reason why they couldn't add it, even though, yeah, there are a couple small little things that they might want to, you know, prevent people from doing, such as pretending they actually own the vehicle. Apart from those things, which would easily be able to be prevented, I feel like it's definitely something that's very possible to be added, or at least something that they definitely could consider adding still. However, at this point, I feel like the chances of them doing it is pretty low, just because they haven't really brought this feature up up in a while now, so it's probably just kind of crossed their minds at this point, which is unfortunate. But I mean, hey, hopefully, you know, they'll eventually get reminded of it again and maybe bring up the feature again. But yeah, anyways guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.